Hello and welcome to Simply Sport with me Neeraj Prabhu. We have a very special guest in our studio today. But before we begin this interview, I want you all to check this out. This is the clipping that played out in the assembly, or rather the highlights of what happened in the assembly, as our members of the Legislative Assembly congratulated tennis player Natasha Palya.
This House congratulates Ms. Natasha Palya, Goa tennis star, for being the first Goan player to be included in the Indian tennis team for 2014 Asian Games, to be held in Incheon, South of Korea, in the month of September.
This girl has got tremendous talent. If you watch her playing, she can be in the ranking of the top world tennis players. Such is the potential, and she is still young. Her parents, I congratulate them. They have taken a lot of trouble for her to reach at this stage.
I would like to actually thank her parents, because that is Brian and Dr. Ophelia. I had a chance of meeting them some 5-6 years back, and they have sacrificed a lot because of her. Even they had a special court for her behind the house, and she has been practicing at a very young age, just behind her own house because.
I had the opportunity to know Natasha Palya as a child when I was a teacher at St. Lawrence High School, Agasain. And I have witnessed Natasha's efforts to reach the position as a tennis player. She practiced rigorously and regularly 6 to 8 hours every day.
माहितीनुसार आजपर्यंत नताशा पाल्या आणि त्यांच्या पालकांनी आमचे कडेन तशें ग्रांट्स आजपर्यंत ताणें केन्नाच मागले ना आणि त्यामुळे ताणें स्वताच्या खर्चाचेर हे सगळे करता. त्यामुळे एक अशे तरेची कामगिरी करता आसतना जी आमकां गर्व अभिमान दिसतात, म्हणून आमकां गोंयांक सुद्दां अशे तरेची फेसिलिटी आमकां डेव्हलप करपाक जाय. ह्याच दृश्टीकोनान सरकारान प्रयत्न केले. कालच हांवें नमूद केल्लें, आमच्यो नॅशनल गेम्स जातल्यो त्या वेळाचेर स्पेशल टेनिस स्टेडियम आमी बांदतले अशे तरेचो आमी घोशणाय केल्ली आसा.
ताजें अभिनंदन करूया आणि ताजे कडल्यान बऱ्या कामगिरीची अपेक्षा आशियाई खेळांत आमी अपेक्षा दवरुया.
There are no prizes for guessing. We have Natasha Palya with us. Natasha, of course, is the first Goan tennis player to have been selected for the Indian tennis team, and this team will represent India at the upcoming Asian Games that will be held from September 19th to October 4. You are living your dream?
Yes, definitely. When I started tennis as a 7-year-old, it was always my dream to be the best in the world, and reaching the Asian Games has been a milestone that I have achieved. It satisfies me, and I'm extremely proud and very happy. And I also look forward to going further ahead and reaching more milestones, performing even better, and keep making my state, my country proud.
You said you started tennis at the age of 7, and today it's been, you are 20, so it's like 13 years that you have worked on your tennis. Take us through your journey in brief.
Yes, definitely. My first tournament was at the age of 10. Being from Goa, we had no clue about what tournaments were going to be like. But my parents, extremely challenging, they went ahead and they took my sister and myself to Mumbai to play our first tournament. I was a little shorter than the net at that time, and the first round, of course, I played my best, but I didn't win it. But the matches that I kept playing over the years since the age of 10 have provided me so much experience. So they've given me so many opportunities to shine bright, and it's been a long journey. I've enjoyed every bit of it, and now I'm so happy to reach the Asian Games. So, of course, playing for your country is a great moment is going to be a great moment for me, and I'm just looking forward to playing my best.
All right. Natasha, just put it into perspective for us, what it takes to get to the level that you have got. Here in Goa, tennis is not at all a sport that people look forward to, because obviously there are hardly any facilities, and whatever are there, they are mostly private facilities, and you need a lot of guidance and good quality of coaching. So could you put into perspective as to what sort of support and what sort of boost that you got from the stakeholders, from your parents, from your sponsors? How did you make it to this far?
First of all, tennis is a sport which needs a lot of finance. Being an extremely expensive sport, also you need to put in a lot of time, because it's such a global sport. It's so competitive. Absolutely. There are girls from Russia, from America, Australia, all of them spending at least 10 hours a day working on their game, working on their fitness. So you cannot expect to put in mediocre efforts and achieve great results. You have to give your whole time and your whole effort, your whole life almost. And so far I've enjoyed every bit of it, but it's very challenging. You have to make a lot of sacrifices, and the support that I have received from the House of Tempos has been of great help to me to take my dream, to live my dream. But I think also I have to thank my parents a lot for this. They have shown me the direction towards reaching this goal. But I also know that in other countries around the world, tennis is so well set up. Parents just take their children to coaches, and they leave them in the coach's hands, and the coaches know what they're doing. They have so much experience. They have so much knowledge about the sport. That is still not the case in India. We have great coaches, but we really need to step it up to the next level. Also, infrastructure is very important. If you have no courts, no academy, it's going to be very hard for a parent and a child to know what is required to achieve excellence in tennis. So I think having good courts, the right surface is very important.
As you stepped up your career in tennis and you broke through the WTA rankings in the world, how many tournaments did you play on an average in a year? And so how many months were you there at home in this period?
Yeah, the last 3 years of my tennis career have been very hectic. This year I've played around 17 to 18 tournaments from Jan to now. I've been home for very few days. I can count the days on my fingers, but you have to put in a lot of time. That's what all professionals in any line do. If you want to be a great doctor, you have to put in that many hours. A great anything, you have to be totally committed to your sports. That's what I've been doing, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Right. Who did you look up to as your role model? Not necessarily an Indian player. Who did you look up to, and who have you been inspired by?
I've always loved Justin Henin. She's a player from Belgium.
Yes.
And I liked her because of her athletic abilities, because of her mental strength. She was not very tall in a sport which, people insist you need to be tall and strong. She was around 5'5", and I could always look up to her because I found all that I needed in the way that she played. And yeah, I think Justin Henin has been my idol since the past 6 years maybe.
Oh. When was it you met Sania Mirza, if we can say, and, as she was making the news and winning tennis tournaments all over the world, and you were starting your tennis career? When did you meet Sania Mirza, and what did you talk to her?
In December last year.
Okay.
We were at Sania's training academy, as I was selected to be in the top 10 girls were called for the Fed Cup training camp. So that was at her newly laid out academy. And she was a really supportive person. She told us a lot about how players on the circuit are, how they're so focused, they're so, they're not very friendly with each other because the sport's so competitive.
Okay.
And yeah, she shared a lot of her experiences with us. It was a lot of fun to be with her. She's a funny person and we enjoyed our time. She's a great person to be with.
So, is the circuit so competitive? Have you found it very competitive and unfriendly in India, as Sania told you?
In India, it's not, but Sania is playing like in the top 10 in the world.
In the world.
And at that level, it is for sure. Even at the level we play at, you never discuss so much of the game with other players because if they know your weakness, they're gonna go and attack that weakness. But we are good friends, but once you step on the court, you're just rivals with each other.
As we see, tennis looks a very demanding sport physically as well. But tell us about tennis at that level. How challenging is a game, and what does it take to win at the level that you are playing it and winning?
Well, I always tell people this when they ask me this question, that to be good in tennis, you have to have the strength of a weightlifter, the endurance of a marathon runner, and the mind of a chess player. So it's a mixture of mental strength and physical strength. And it's a great sport because it teaches you to be focused. On the court, when you get that ball, you just have to make a decision to go straight or to go cross court. So it gives you the ability to make quick decisions, which is very important in life in general. And it's a lovely sport because you can travel and meet new people. The people you play with, they all have different weaknesses, different strengths. So it's a wonderful sport to be playing.
And what's your training schedule? How do you prepare for a tournament?
I practice in Pune at PYC Gymkhana, and the two other girls of my level playing there are India #1 Ankita Raina and India #2 Pratna Tomre. So we have a lot of good hitting practice. We can actually play matches to get that match temperament. So I've got a good setup.
Who's the coach there?
Hemant Benji.
Your stance, your servicing, style, or your forehands, backhands, have you modeled them on any of top players?
When I started, my main coaches were my parents. They just love the game, and all that I am, my game that I play today has a lot to do with my dad and mom. The way they used to read books, and whatever they learned from that, they helped me to play. And both of them love Pete Sampras, so I'm guessing that on the style of his game, that's what they taught me. So
when you play on the circuit, has anybody told you that you hit a forehand like so and so player, you serve like so and so?
No, not exactly.
Okay, not yet, maybe.
I have my own style.
Right, okay. As you said, your father and mother were your first coach, and I think they had a court built up for you at your home.
Yes, that's true. And when I was around 10, my sister was 12, my brother was 8. We used to hit with each other, so it was fun at that time. But now I don't play much there. But I'm really thankful to my parents for the effort that they have put in.
Why tennis? Why did they initiate you into tennis? Or you picked up the tennis racket first?
I think they like the sport. It's a great sport. They just made a choice that tennis was
right.
best.
As you were taking to tennis like maybe a fish takes to water, how did you cope up with your education? I also heard that you were really good at studies as well.
Thank you.
So how did you cope up with your studies?
Yeah, that's true. I love studying. I still miss studying sometimes, but I think tennis also, or any sport, really helps you in focusing and in knowing what your priorities are. And I think when you play and you study together, you can do so much better in both, because the focus that you learn on court also helps you in sitting with your books and really giving your best when you're sitting with your books.